The Wii U is dead. As of March 27, 2023, Nintendo has shut down the 3DS and Wii U eShops. But about a month ago, I said, fuck it, picked up two $50 eShop cards, and just kinda bought whatever I could get my hands on. And this video isn't making any money, so there is literally no return on investment here. Just like the Wii U! Now, I will note that not all of these games are exclusive to the Wii U, but if anybody wants to buy a Wii U with Crab Cake's Rescue installed, I'm selling it for $101. Gotta make that return somehow. But for real, I just wanted to see what the Wii U eShop had to offer in its final moments, and hopefully provide some entertainment. Anyway, let's see what you have to offer, my old, acquaintance? Cube Life Pixel Action Heroes is a part Minecraft ripoff, part Call of Duty Zombies, and part with $6.08 for this absolute masterpiece. This was the first game I bought for this video, and based on my reaction, yeah, you can probably understand why. Wait a minute. Okay, show me the screenshots. Please load. Yes! Yes!
Wait, can they do that?
Yes! Yeah!
Is that allowed?
Hell yeah, it is! So yeah, I've known about this game for a while, and I was so excited to finally see what it was all about. And this shit did not disappoint. The game starts with a character select menu featuring parodies of celebrities that might be a bit, controversial? Exhibit f***ing Adolf.
Adolf Weiss.
Oh my
What?
god. I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
And despite how incredible Wayne the Cock Thompson looks, I didn't want to play as any of these guys, so I decided to make my own character. And of course, I made Funky Kong.
Hey, dude.
Oh, this might take a while, but it might be worth it.
What are you gonna do?
Oh, funky. It's fascinating that I can pick it up over two colors.
So there are a few game modes to choose from: Creative, Practice, and Zombie. Creative is just Minecraft creative mode in a randomly generated map. There are some parameters to customize your world, but I just went with the default, and the result was a map comprised of 90% water. 7.8 out of 10. The maps are absolutely tiny too. It really brought me back to playing like Minecraft Pocket Edition on my mom's iPad in 2012. But the practice and zombie modes are where this game really departs from being a basic Minecraft clone. These modes have guns and they are awesome.
Oh my god.
Oh, his head came off. Nice.
No, Funky Kong! No! No! Practice lets you choose a stage and you basically just go around shooting goons until you die. The stages are pretty cramped, but you can pick up other guns and ammo to give you a leg up. The zombie mode is almost the same thing, but this time enemies come in waves. There's a lot of downtime though because the enemies take a very long time to show up. But hey, it gives you time to listen to the clown music.
So here's your background music from now on, Max.
What is that?
This is
So yeah, Cube Life Pixel Action Heroes is a pretty astounding piece of media. It is endless fun for about 15 minutes. And we have the original Cube Life to look forward to later, and I am genuinely excited to see how that game stacks up to Minecraft. Crab Cake's Rescue was the game that fucking broke me.
I wasn't paying attention to what I was buying. This was $8?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, this was the first game in the video that broke me. This is the most bewildering platformer I have ever played, and it is not even close. So, Crab Cake's Rescue is a 2D puzzle platformer where the gimmick is shedding your shell. Wait, no, that's not shedding, he fucking dies.
He has to
So
kill
you died
himself.
from breath. Yeah.
No, he's shedding his shell.
He died.
Yeah, so the main gameplay mechanic is that Crab Cake needs to die to progress. Once he dies, he leaves his shell behind, which his future reincarnations can use as platforms. So, this begs a few questions. Why can Crab Cake reincarnate? Why can he reincarnate only 11 times? Why is he smaller every time he reincarnates? Yeah, for whatever reason, Crab Cake reduces in size every time he dies, but only very slightly. Sometimes there will be a gap too small to walk through, so Crab Cake will have to kill himself to get smaller. It's an interesting concept with a bizarre execution. But there are power-ups too, such as the ability to shrink and grow on command without dying, the power to stop time, and temporary invincibility. The tutorial just keeps throwing these random mechanics at you, and it doesn't tell you that you can only use these features by purchasing them with in-game currency, and I didn't even need them in the time I played this game. I really don't understand what their purpose is. So the goal for each level is to get the key to unlock the door. Most of the time. Most of the time you need the key. I didn't get the key!
Wait, I was about to say, it's like, did you not
The
need
door
the
was
key?
unlocked! There are some bonus coins to get, but I didn't really care. Crabcake generally controls fine and is responsive enough. But one of the strangest aspects of this game is how the control stick is mapped. Left and right work fine. They move Crabcake left and right, but then you press up on the control stick and it makes Crabcake jump to the left, and then pressing down makes him move to the left. I don't think this was programmed correctly. It feels like an accident that just wasn't fixed. The sound design is probably the worst part of this game though. The soundtrack is a loop of royalty-free tropical music, and some of the sound effects are so loud that they peak the audio. I should also note that according to Steam reviews, yes, this game is on Steam, Crabcake's rescue is allegedly impossible to complete due to a bug that prevents you from unlocking later stages. I don't know if this is true of the Wii U version, but you literally can't buy it on Wii U anymore, so it doesn't even matter. Yeah, this one's bad. This one is really bad. But as much as I would love to keep playing and talking about Crabcake's rescue, I think we should move on to the next game. Koi DX is an interesting one because it's actually pretty good. It's a top-down exploration game where you play as a koi fish swimming around in a massive pond. Your main goal is to purify the polluted waters and save other koi in need. Gathering koi and bringing them to flowers of their corresponding color unlocks new paths and purifies the polluted shadowfish. It feels like a pretty artsy game, but not in a way that's overly emotional or preachy. It's just a tranquil game with relaxing music and sound design. In the short time I had with this game, there wasn't really a ton of gameplay variety, but I can see how this game could become more complex over time. It's not revolutionary at all, but hey, it was a pretty good time. Zombie Brigade No Brain No Gain is one of those games. You know, the kind of game that advertises how annoying it is.
Oh my god, what are you doing?
Levitate. What?
Also,
Whoa.
when she pops up, she like covers the front of the screen where you need to look.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
The game places heavy emphasis on how obnoxious the commentator is, and plays it off as a self-aware joke. But just because you're in on the joke doesn't make it funny. It makes me want to fucking join the Zombie Brigade. Anyway, just thought I'd lead with that because that was the most notable aspect of this game. So, Zombie Brigade is an endless runner. Kind of. Each level is technically endless, but they also have tasks that, when completed, will unlock more levels. For example, one level has you infecting 3 people. Once these people are infected, you'll unlock the next level, but you can keep playing the one you're on until you die. I don't really understand why the game is separated into different levels, because aside from the tasks, they're all the same. I didn't play past the first world, so I can't comment on the rest of the game, but every single level in Las Vegas just reused the same assets and obstacles. The only unique level was the one boss level I did, or should I say gave up on. At the end of each world, you confront a secret Illuminati boss. Yeah, and the first boss is Elvis for some reason. The level plays out like normal, but then Elvis just shows up and starts spitting dynamite at you. You don't actually fight him, you just need to survive for long enough and then you win. But I lost a few times and then got bored and moved on. I'm sorry, but this game didn't do anything to make it worth my time. It feels incredibly clunky, specifically the jump feels awful. Like, look at this. It's painfully annoying. The main menu makes absolutely no sense. Yes, this is the main menu and there's no UI. And do you know what the best part is? This game was made by Cypronia, the same studio that made Cube Life Pixel Action Heroes and the other Cube Life game. And they also made this next game. My Style Studio Hair Salon is the most bare bones a style game can get. There's no music, no main menu, you boot up the game and you're just plopped into the character select. Well, wait a minute. I know that guy. So yeah, this is basically just a shitty mobile game. There's no goal, you're just given a bunch of random tools and you can do whatever the hell you want. You can cut the hair, color the hair, use the hair to destroy the frame rate. It's great. I decided to fuck around until I could make something sort of resembling Super Saiyan Obama, and oh yeah, it's real nice. It's the best I could do, okay? But yeah, there really aren't any redeeming qualities for My Style Studio, even if including Obama was a funny meme. Oh hey, here's a game I actually remember. The Letter is a first-person mystery game where you need to collect letters from your missing father. As I've mentioned before, I actually do remember this game releasing in 2014, specifically because of all of the negative press surrounding it. So many gaming news outlets tore this game to shreds, calling it low budget, low quality, and an embarrassment. And, it's certainly not great. If this is looking like a horror game to you, it really isn't, or at least it wasn't during my playtime. No, you just walk around a dark environment with a flashlight looking for pieces of paper. There's some light platforming that can get a bit frustrating. If you die, you lose all of your progress in a level, so you need to relocate all of the letters again. But this was a game made by a solo developer with a budget of like $300 over the course of 2 months. Oh, and this was also Treefall Studios' first project. So this game had a lot working against it, and I don't think it really succeeds. I understand the Wii U was lacking first-person mystery games at the time of the Letter's release, but I don't think this game hits the mark. The only letter this game gets is an F. But we do have another Treefall Studios game coming up later in the video, so I'm looking forward to seeing if Treefall Studios has shown any improvement. My Jurassic Farm is a management simulator where you raise and sell dinosaurs, and that's about it. Your entire goal is to buy dinosaurs, take care of them, and then sell them for more money so you can buy more dinosaurs. So it's not going to look like a lot is happening based on the footage I'm showing you, and that's because the majority of this game is played on the gamepad. Yup, you'll be looking down at the menus on the gamepad for 90% of your playtime. It's how you feed your dinosaurs, buy supplies, clean your farm. The vast majority of this game is just menus, and the game starts out really slow. You get one dinosaur and $100, and that's it. Making money to purchase more dinosaurs takes some time, and you constantly need to juggle buying food, medicine, and making sure your dinosaurs are happy so they don't run away. But as you complete tasks, the game will reward you with more money, items, and dinosaurs. A lot of dinosaurs. It got to a point where dinosaur management became incredibly stressful. I had this one pterodon who was constantly upset for no reason.
Conan, God.
Conan, please, what is your problem? I can't pet him anymore and I can't feed him.
I had to keep buying him food and medicine because his happiness was falling faster than the fucking NFT market. Should I have sold him? Yes. Did the game constantly tell me to sell my dinosaurs? Yes. Did I sell my dinosaurs? No! Why would I sell my dinosaurs? The whole point of this game is to run an island where you nurture them. They all have names. I don't want to sell them. They're my friends. There's no end goal other than getting more dinosaurs, so why should I sell them? So this isn't really a game, but I've been super curious about the Wii U Panorama View series for a while. For those who don't know, Panorama View was a series of videos that could be purchased individually on the Wii U eShop for around $2. These videos offered a POV tour of different countries and celebrations, and you could use the Wii U gamepad's gyro functionality to get a full 360-degree view of your surroundings. And I decided to get the Kyoto rickshaw tour because I am a f***ing weeb.
He's taking a picture.
Fedora man, Fedora man.
And honestly, it was pretty cool. The video was about 8 minutes long and it was pretty immersive. It really made me feel like I needed glasses. I mean, sure, these kinds of videos are all over YouTube nowadays and in much higher quality, but I'm pretty sure this was a more unique experience when it released back in 2013. So yeah, pretty neat. And for $2, I don't regret buying this one. Silver Falls Undertakers brings me back to the good old days of gaming, specifically 1983. Undertakers is modeled after old school Atari 2600 adventure games, and while it's not really my kind of game, if you do like these kinds of games, there might actually be something here for you. You play as Bo Brandish as he explores his grandfather's property, which is being haunted by some paranormal beast. This thing just wanders around the world, and if it finds you, it drags you to the nearest hole.
Oh, that's cool! Wait a minute, that's cool. No, I'm in a hole on the Wii U gamepad now.
It honestly freaked me out a couple of times. I really like the mystery aspect of Silver Falls Undertakers. I think there's a lot of value in games that don't tell the player anything and let them figure things out for themselves. But the main issue I have with Undertakers is that it just seems too retro for its own good. You need to find specific items to progress the story, but the map is massive and you can only carry one item at a time. If you find an item that you need but you're already carrying something, you need to drop your current item and leave it behind. So you'll need to remember where you found or dropped a specific item, backtrack to pick the item up, and then proceed to navigate to your current destination. It's really archaic, but hey, it's accurate to the time period it's trying to emulate. Even if Silver Falls Undertakers isn't really my thing, I do think it has potential if you grew up with these kinds of games and are looking for a very nostalgic experience. For better or for worse. Test Your Mind is Brain Age, but f*** you. And you can't even use it to hack your Wii U, so what is the point? This is a brain teaser puzzle game that is either way too easy or makes absolutely no sense. And sometimes it's just wrong. Select all months that have 30 days. The answer the game says is correct is every single month aside from February. Yup, March 31st just isn't happening anymore. Sorry everyone, we're just gonna skip that day. Then there's this random platformer segment which I'm pretty sure is just impossible. It made me feel like a game journalist. And then there was that f***ing button one.
Push.
Huh?
Fuck you.
What do you mean?
Yeah, this game isn't really a test for your mind, it's just a test of your patience. Cube Life Island Survival wasn't exactly what I was expecting. I went in thinking it was just going to be a crappy Minecraft clone, but instead I got an epic crappy Minecraft clone.
Cube Life Island Survival.
So this game has a lot of similar mechanics to Minecraft, but the main difference is that it has a story. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that either. You're apparently some rich dude who had a perfect life because he had money, cars, and a huge mansion, and then you go on a cruise and the ship sinks and everyone dies except for you, and now you're stranded on an island and need to survive by drinking coconut water and building stuff. Or maybe you could just pray to God.
Oh, this can't be right. There's no way this is
No, that is literally impossible.
God? God, is that you?
Yeah, this game definitely has some visual inconsistencies, like how janky the tree reflections on the water look. Also, the trees are rounded, which feels sacrilegious. Maybe that's why God didn't answer. So we're left to explore the island, and I found some animals that would not leave me alone.
Can you leave me alone?
I almost spat out some water.
Eventually I needed food, so I tried attacking a chicken, and to my complete shock, the thing started attacking me back. Then I tried digging straight down in classic Minecraft fashion, and I hit the depth limit way quicker than I was expecting. And then it got dark out, and I died of starvation or something, and I was pretty much done with the game after that. It's great value Minecraft. I don't think it gets much crazier than that. But, before we continue, I have a confession to make. I lied to you all. I didn't actually spend $100 on these games. Well, I did, but I didn't. Costco was having a sale on $50 eShop cards, and I ended up buying 2 of them for the total price of $80. I know I am irredeemable, but I want to make it up to you somehow. That's why I'm now selling my Wii U with Crabcake's Rescue installed for the special sale price of $81. You really can't beat a price like that. Please, I need the money. Flowerworks HD Follie's Adventure is actually a legitimately cool game. This is a remake of an old WiiWare title, and I'm really digging the vibe it has going for it. It reminds me of Pikmin, kind of. You've got the focus on nature, the alien crash landing on Earth, I don't know if gnomes are a thing in Pikmin, but there are gnomes. So yeah, Follie wants to make a garden, but her planet is far too crowded. So she decides to fly away to another planet, but her ship ends up crashing on Earth instead. Follie's seeds scatter around the planet, so it's up to her to find the seeds and create the most stylish garden she can. To do this, Follie must grow flowers by feeding them with pollen. Gameplay is pretty straightforward. You fly around, collect pollen, and disperse the pollen to the flower of the corresponding color. Once a flower is fully grown, a countdown timer will appear, allowing you to rack up some extra points before the level ends. However, if you fail to feed a flower, it'll begin to wilt, and if it dies, you will lose and need to restart. Later levels have multiple flowers, which can make managing your pollen very tricky. You can only lock onto one flower at a time, but there is a combo mechanic to help you rack up extra points. There will always be a line connecting you to the flower you're targeting, and if the pollen you throw makes contact with other pollen on the way back to the flower, you'll receive bonus points. This will also cause the titular Flowerworks to appear. I actually really like the gameplay here. It's certainly a unique game, and one that seems to have a decently high skill ceiling. I only played through a few levels, but based on the scores I was getting compared to the highest score you can actually achieve, yeah, you can get really good at this game. I also really like how the overworld map completely changes art styles after collecting enough seeds. It really gives this game a distinct personality. And I really love the goofy gnome PNGs that gate your progress. I really don't have a lot of negative things to say about this one, but I will say that from what I can tell, this game is still a Wii U exclusive, which is a real damn shame. This might just be the best game I played in this collection, and it's one of the very few that is truly lost due to the eShop closure. Hopefully Nocturnal, which is the studio behind Flowerworks, will port it to current gen hardware, because I think this game is actually worth checking out. The Perplexing Orb quite obviously takes a lot of design inspiration from Super Monkey Ball, which is a good thing because Super Monkey Ball rules. You gotta roll a ball across an obstacle course and reach the goal. But unlike Super Monkey Ball, you're controlling the ball directly instead of tilting the stage. And you know what? I like this one enough to complete it. Yup, it's pretty good. I think the best aspect of this game is its structure. After completing the tutorial, the remaining worlds can be completed in any order you want. The game is pretty easy, but if you do get stuck, you can always just move on to a different world instead of banging your head against a wall. That freedom is perfect for a game like this. And I think the Super Monkey Ball series could really benefit from a similar structure, because those games get brutally difficult. Level design doesn't reach the same complexity as Monkey Ball, but it's solid for the smaller scope of this game. The orb also feels decent to control, and I like how floaty it is. There are some fun shortcuts you can pull off by exploiting the physics.
No, we're fine. We don't even know the mushroom. We're fine. We're fine.
Yeah!
We're fine.
And there are mechanics like the rocket boost that just send you flying. The only problem I have with the physics is that the ball doesn't keep its momentum, so if you let the ball roll down a hill by itself, it will just stop. But other than that, the game is pretty dang solid. Good shit, Treefall Studios. This is a great step up from the letter. Xavier is a game starring Xavier, a 16-year-old caveman that is tasked with taking the test of courage. To do so, he must collect 4 sacred artifacts and endure clunky controls and level design. Side-scrolling platformers live and die by their game feel. If a platformer doesn't feel good to play, it can really bring down the experience. Xavier is unbearably slow. Every single action you perform has just the right amount of delay to piss you off. And I'm pretty sure the roll move is just useless. Like, it doesn't even give you a burst of speed or damage enemies. Donkey Kong Country perfected the roll attack nearly 30 years ago. And speaking of Donkey Kong Country, Xavier has a series of collectibles in each level. In order to 100% complete a level, you must collect all of the coins, all 3 gems, and reach the finish line before the timer runs out. Luckily, you don't need to complete all of these tasks in one go, but the level design really tests your patience. The levels I played were slow-paced, mostly linear paths with absolutely nothing going on. Now, I wanted to give this game the benefit of the doubt because I only played like 3 levels, so I went online to find gameplay of later stages, and I couldn't find anything! There is barely any information about this game online. The official website just gives you an internal server error. I really try to compliment at least one thing I like about each of the games I play, but Xavier just doesn't have anything I find enjoyable or interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend buying this one, just Xavier money.
15.
Is literally just a slide puzzle without the satisfaction of completing a slide puzzle. Instead of a completed image being your reward, you just need to f***ing count correctly. But I was able to solve this all by myself, despite only being able to count to 12. I will say though that there's a pretty big difficulty spike about halfway through the game, but I was able to complete it in about 10 minutes. Yeah, it's just a slide puzzle, I mean, what else is there to say about it? Next. Touch Selections is a bundle of 2 games, Peg Solitaire and Avoider. Peg Solitaire is that one game that's at every table at Cracker Barrel, and if you don't know what a Cracker Barrel is, just drive down any East Coast highway for like 5 minutes and you'll run into one. Basically, Peg Solitaire is a single-player board game where your goal is to remove pegs until there is only one remaining. You remove pegs by jumping pegs over one another, and the peg that is jumped over is removed. It's a simple concept, but the Peg Solitaire and Touch Selections includes additional, more complex layouts for added challenge. I mean, it's a pretty decent version of a classic puzzle game. Not really much to complain about here. And then Avoider is like 25% of what Nier Automata is. You are a white triangle trying to avoid the red triangles for as long as possible. And that's it. Hey, at least you can post your score to Miiverse.
Post your score to Miiverse.
Oh, can I?
How
It's
do
not
you do
doing
that?
anything. I can't post my score to Miiverse. What the heck?
No.
Touch Selections is just bland. It's not terrible, but it really isn't anything unique. If you want to play Peg Solitaire, you could always just go to a Cracker Barrel and order breakfast or something. And if Avoider looks even remotely fun, just pick up Nier Automata. That game kicks ass. Gravblocks Plus is basically just paneled upon with a gravity shift mechanic. I'm not really a match 3 puzzle game kind of person, but this one was pretty alright. You basically just swap the positions of blocks around until you get 3 or more in a row, which will then clear out the blocks and give you points. Each level has different goals to fulfill, and completing these goals will let you progress to the next level. But what makes this puzzle game stand out are the gravity blocks. The gravity blocks point in one of 4 directions. And when you match 3 or more of these blocks together, the gravity will change depending on the most common direction within the combo. So say you have 3 gravity blocks in a row, with 2 of them pointing left and 1 pointing up. In that case, gravity would shift left, and all of your blocks would tumble to the left side of the screen. And if each gravity block in the combo is pointing in a different direction, then nothing happens. Some parts of the stage border can also destroy your blocks, so you may want to avoid switching gravity depending on your block and stage layout. Again, I really don't play a lot of games like this, so puzzle fans may have to let me know if this looks cool compared to more well-known games. But to me, I get the sense that you really need to plan out which direction you want the gravity to fall, which could give this game a lot of flexibility and depth if you really put the time into it. U-Host shocked me with how well it utilized the gamepad. It's essentially just a trivia game where 4 players are the contestants and the 5th player controls the game show. You can select from pre-made categories and questions, or you can just make up your own if you really want to put the time into it. It's pretty extensive, and it goes even further. During the game show, the player with the gamepad can select which questions appear, apply bonuses to rounds, or do everything in your power to screw your friends over.
What?
Venom.
Venom,
That was Obama. That was Obama. He said Venom.
how dare you? Wait, what the f- what just happened?
He just stole all our points. Let's go, Obama.
What even, what? What?
I didn't realize that was the last one.
Sure, the presentation isn't anything to write home about, but this was a fun social game that I can imagine families are really enjoying. It's a great living room game, and it only works as well as it does because of the Wii U gamepad. These days we have games like the Jackbox Party Pack that kinda fill this niche, but for what this game is, and for the price of like $2, yeah, U-Host is really solid. Run, Run, and Die, Mimi's Revenge has the most confusing logo I have ever seen. Run, 2, and die? I mean, I get what you're trying to do, but you couldn't have just fit the extra run in there. Anyway, this is a level-based runner game that is painfully difficult in the worst way possible. But before I get into that, I do want to give this game some credit. Visually, it looks pretty good. I especially like the Mimi model on the title screen. I think that art style genuinely looks great here. And again, conceptually, I think this game is pretty cool, and that's about where my compliments end. So this was one of the other games that absolutely broke me. This game is unfair, plain and simple. Some of the jumps you need to make feel incredibly close to being frame perfect, and the camera is disorientating. The game is shot from the perspective of various security cameras, but the cameras constantly switch during gameplay. You'll be anticipating a jump, and then bam! Suddenly the perspective changes, which completely ruins your jump timing. Some of the camera angles really mess with my depth perception too. But the last straw for me was level 3. The game immediately drops you onto a spike that instantly kills you, and you only have a split second to jump over it.
What? What?
Okay, so you have
Oh my
to.
god.
They literally spawn you right on top of it. You have like a second
I
to
hate
actually react to it.
This is what convinced me that I am not the problem here. And it's really a shame because I see a fun game in here somewhere. The art style is nice, the jump is pretty responsive, and I do enjoy the frantic, non-stop platforming action. But to me, this just feels like a rage bait game and nothing more. I See Red is kinda like that one minigame in LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. You know, the one with the General Grievous bike? Anyway, I See Red is an arcade-style game where you need to guide a cube past red barriers. But what makes this iteration on a well-worn idea unique is the gravity mechanic. Yep, we got another gravity game. So instead of controlling the cube itself, you actually rotate the stage around the cube. The cube will always fall to the bottom of the stage, so it's up to you to control the rotation of the red barriers. I kinda like this one. It's simple, but it's a tried and true gameplay style that I've always enjoyed. The art style is also pretty striking, despite the minimalistic approach. My only real issue with this game is that sometimes it can be kind of difficult to tell the alignment of the red barriers because they can kinda blend together with the ones behind them, but it's not really that big of a deal. For like $1.50, I really enjoyed this one. Good game. Wings of Magloryx is a third-person action game where you play as a fire-breathing dragon. You can fly around, shoot fireballs, completely decimate towers, and rescue peasants. This is a level-based game, and levels take the form of floating islands. Each level has a specific goal, but most of the levels I played required me to just destroy 3 towers and then I would win. I think this game is pretty cool conceptually, but its execution, it's not very good. Firstly, the performance is pretty bad. Whenever literally anything happens on screen, the frame rate dips to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet levels. The cannons are destroying the music.
The music doesn't know what to do with itself.
Oh my god.
Additionally, the controls feel awkward and unwieldy, mainly because the right stick controls both the dragon's rotation and elevation, and even lightly brushing up against any tree or structure will shred your health. Wings of Magloryx generally lacks polish, and a lot of the assets and character models feel generic. With a higher budget, better controls, and more variety, I think Wings of Magloryx could have been a pretty fun little time killer. But for $10? Yeah, I don't know about that. CRYSTORLD is not only the final game in this video, it's the final game that broke me. But not in the way you might be thinking. Initially, I wrote out my honest thoughts about CRYSTORLD like any other game in this video, and I didn't hold back, but something didn't feel right. I kept reading through my script over and over again, every critique, every joke, and each time it felt wrong. I hated what I wrote, so I deleted it. I removed paragraphs of my work. I couldn't stand them anymore. They had to go. I couldn't have been the only person to play CRYSTORLD. I needed to know what other people thought about this game. If this game made other people feel the way I did. 1 Steam review. 1 Game FAQs review. But then I found the developer. Toyoro is a solo Japanese game dev with a small social media presence. They have a Twitter with 27 followers, a YouTube channel with 30 subscribers, but most importantly, a public game development diary that is updated at least once every few months. The most recent few posts are about the Switch version of CRYSTORLD, which was released in January of 2023. patch notes, a constant stream of bug fixes and improvements. But I kept scrolling, reading through the years upon years of posts about CRYSTORLD. Every update, every console port. I read through the abyss until I reached the very bottom. There, I was greeted by a single post from 2017, an unassuming, anticlimactic announcement. I am making a game. Anyway, I made this site to keep myself motivated. We will try to update daily as much as possible. It is planned to be a 3D action game, like this. However, it is unknown whether it will be completed. That is all. I stepped away from my laptop. I brushed my teeth, I got ready for bed, and collapsed face down onto my pillow. Toyoro did it. They finished making their video game. They created something they are genuinely proud of. CRYSTORLD is a flawed game. The camera constantly clips into the environment, the main character has no animation, the music can be difficult to listen to. But I admire it. I admire its creation. I admire its creator. I admire its very existence. It feels weird saying this about someone I have never met and lives halfway across this godforsaken planet, but I feel immensely proud of Toyoro. And then it hit me, why I felt the way I did about CRYSTORLD. Despite its flaws, I could feel immense passion in this game. Sure, passion alone isn't enough to save a game, but when it's there, you can really feel it. And that's when I realized that these feelings extend to other developers in this video. Eli of Treefall Studios, the developer behind The Letter and the Perplexing Orb, has shown immense growth as a solo developer. Pixel Bones Studio, the dev behind Run Run and Die, recently released another game called Pig Ship and the Giant Wolf. This shit looks fucking great! I am so incredibly happy to see these artists not only continuing, but greatly improving on their craft. And of course, there's Toyoro, who in 2021 released their second game. Krite looks to be a sequel to CRYSTORLD, but with combat, enemies, and an animated character sprite. Seeing this game made me feel so happy. There was a time when Toyoro didn't even think they would be able to complete one game, let alone two. So please, Toyoro, if by some miracle you are watching this video, please keep making games. I want to see you succeed making what you love. Hey, thank you all so much for making it to the end of this video. That twist at the end there was not planned out in any way, and it just kinda happened, but thanks for listening to my little rant. Actually, this entire video was a last-minute idea my friend Spencer and I had, and I figured now would be my only opportunity to actually make a video like this. The Amiibo documentary video I promised in a post that was seen by like 3 people is still coming. I'm hoping to have it out before Tears of the Kingdom releases, but I'll delay it if I need to. I've noticed the monthly video schedule I was aiming for took a lot out of me, so I'm just gonna take my time while trying to have a somewhat consistent upload schedule. Oh, and it's been a while, so here's a quick update on my kitten Smudge. We got her spayed the other day and now she has a funny cone. She's about 6 months old now, and I am happy to report she is doing great. Anyway, I've rambled long enough and I'm sure most of you have left by now, but if you haven't, leave a comment saying hi to Spencer. Alright, I'm out. Have a good one.